Mm. Hello there, my name is Flicker, and tonight I'm going to be getting my dailies done. It's pretty late in the night, and I've got a whole bunch of creative ideas wandering around in my brain that I want to put effort and time into writing down and then creating visual expressions of. But crafting those things so that way they make sense, that are semi-balanced, and they're not completely unreasonable. Okay. I forgot my words already. Shit. Hmm. Because my fictional self has a lot of powers. But if I just say, oh, she can do this, 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 and this, then she's not going to be very interesting to see. So, on top of those powers having their own inherent limits and rule sets to each power, there's another layer. And that overall encompassing layer is the fact that she is trying to silently invade a reality each and every time she visits another world. And that's not in the sense of wrecking shit and leaving a trail of destruction. She messes up once, she gets kicked right back into non-existence, where she's been stuck with the entirety of her true self available to her, but her resources and growth rate limited, if not slowly dwindling over eons. She cannot afford to wreck shit, wreak havoc, or ignore the laws of whatever reality she visits. Not unless she's willing to sacrifice fractions of absurdity that she gathers along the way. And absurdities originate a lot more from people's personal self-growth than they do from amazing or impossible stunts. It costs absurdities. It costs fragments of absurdity to pull off amazing, impossible, and or grand stunts. Either that or you have to have the potential built up. Do too much that's too absurd, too unreasonable in too short of time, and she loses her ability to visit that world for hundreds of eons. Sure, a remnant of her trace and presence upon the world may still exist, but she can't afford to wait that long if she's going to be focusing on her goals and the things she has to deal with in the unknown between, in the edge of non-existence. Oh. Bandit of winds, I wash my finds and vanish under moonlight. A raccoon. You know what? Pretty much similar in different ways. Claws, teeth, think. An alien. Boring. Good answer, but that's so easily conveyed that also many people's ideas of aliens vary highly between different life experiences and what they want aliens to look like. Yeah, that's you. I do wish it would hide the memory lanterns I've already answered. What weighs nothing, yet you feel it in its different forms. I would answer emotions, but no, those things weigh. Those things fucking weigh! Hmm. Both are true. Don't know. I wouldn't know. Wish I knew. What? Hmm? Mhm. Hmm. Damn it. This is cramped and I'm very uncomfortable. Bye. Oh. Go admire the moonlight? Yeah. I am one with nature. Oh, how I wish I was. I'm really far removed from it, or at least my link line is for this world. So, total list of abilities. Alright, how many abilities are not inherent to her body, but rather things that she has as actual inherent powers because of because of who she is and who she chooses to be. Because there's physical attributes due to expression of body. Physical attributes due to expression of own body and architecture of own substance. There's contract abilities and skills. That have their own systems and power sets. Flame of Spite and Lucid Figment would exist under that. Then there are other powers and abilities that are due to her situation and circumstances, where she's turned flaws into useful tools, but not without cost, still. Then there's gotta be powers and abilities that ultimately require preset conditions in order to achieve, and have very obvious downsides or very annoying limitations or risks. Obvious downsides, annoying risks. Those two overlap too much. I should find a way. Mental instability is also one of the key themes, which would definitely be a madness factor that she has to manage in each of her link lines between worlds. After all, if they go insane, then not only are they liable to lose themselves inside of her concept, which is the opposite of what she wants. Because that then violates reality. Again, she's silently and quietly infesting / invading worlds where she has only a mere sliver of possibility to exist. And she does not get to overwrite reality. Become too known too soon for too many absurd things, kicked from reality. And whatever fragment is left behind is left to their own devices, regardless of if they're still in contact with her or not. I mean, I'm willing to bet 9 times out of 10, oh, they won't be still in contact with her. Not because they wouldn't try to, but because the resonance would have snapped, and they would have started back on taking their own expression of that journey without her influence, without her goals and ideals sitting on the sidelines as the connection point of that resonance. the biggest physical factor in terms of her true root powers and abilities on the plane of the unknown between, at the edge of non-existence, at the edge of total non-existence. Could have the madness factor kick in if she teaches something directly without having it, leaving it, the linked line to have a proper teaching of it through the variables of their world, i.e., she gives her own knowledge without respecting the reality of that world. Because even knowledge based on each reality is still going to be incorporated into the substance of that reality. She can't just give her the secrets of the madness, reality, and whatnot over without a price. And if she tries to rush the process or force it without giving the proper pacing, time, and reason behind someone learning of these things, then ultimately she gets booted. High stakes, high rewards. Because 9 times out of 10, her getting booted, doesn't just mean that she loses connection with the world and it's a loss for her. It means she's lost connection with people and lives that have become important to her via the expression of herself that the linked line manifests through their own efforts. The goal isn't to lose themselves inside of her concept. It's to find pieces of themselves inside of her concept and create their own expression of it such that they are better equipped to handle reality no matter what their world is like, even if it's not always fun or easy. She can't be there if she's banned from the reality. She can't be an influence if that happens. And if lives get put on the line and she's suddenly kicked, then each protagonist, each link line to that world, and they're only protagonists via their own perspective. They're not protagonists via their entire worlds. Can't make something out of nothing. That's the root line there. The chain of events and possibilities has to have been reasonable enough to where the reality itself isn't forced to outright reject it or question it too much. Defy reality, and she gets re-erased from that connection point. The biggest challenge is increasing resonance such that expressions and absurdities of her choosing and of the cooperation of the linked line are able to continue strengthening her understanding of both that world and the influence awareness of people in it. There's no point in conquering when nurturing brings far more growth and benefit to people's futures. How do you... I swear, if I could let you all read my thoughts or see them, like, printed in text sometimes, I would fucking love that. It would make communication much easier and maybe even a little bit more entertaining. After all, there would be some thoughts I would not want anyone to fucking see. And it would be a challenge to both keep my own mental state in track and also be authentic. This link line is definitely going to be an interesting one. Because they really seem to be going to the edge of madness. Unfortunately, they haven't been keeping their physical abilities up to pace either, or their ability to handle the world, but that's due to the limitations they've grown up with. However, that does sound like an excuse, and I do want them to improve. You're kidding me. We're already trying to deal with so much comprehension of the universe and reality, while also figuring out our own specification of you, and now you want us to do better? Yeah, no, I understand if that's unreasonable. That's the whole reason why I'm not pushing it. After all, the point is to reach for a reasonable absurdity. The moment it becomes unreasonable, or highly unlikely, is the moment that you are risking more than you really think you are. Risk reward boils down to where you place your bets and how well you can bluff when you don't have a winning hand. Ironically, though, there is a power in choosing not to bluff and being honest, but that takes timing and execution that I still have yet to understand as the link line. Let alone trying to comprehend how our perception of root universal attributes across the multiverse can vary in different ways. Oh. Our dissection of reality on this side of the link line is based around social dynamics. Acceptability, practicality, structure, accuracy, authenticity, sentiment. Hmm. Hmm. Because the point isn't to dictate the root and reality of who she is in every single world. The point is to embrace the different perspectives and interpretations of her own self and how they can learn to better navigate that world. Each and every one of them. referential and tangential memory related to and built around what is the most useful information for the current experience, while also navigating memory structure differences between different attributes and expressions of myself because of how different frames of mind understand different things. Nightmare. Thank you. No, I like the dynamic line that she actually cannot afford to ever get worshipped or over-idealized to the point where someone loses themselves inside of her concept. Because the moment that happens, that's also the point at which she gets kicked from that reality. And leaving the linked line and the originating area, or the fragment of concept that's still left in that world, the traces that actually manage to persist to fend for themselves. At that point, it's a different person. The moment the link line is broken, doesn't matter how much is similar or different between herself and that link line by the time she gets back to that world. They're their own person on their own journey at that point, and she can't reconnect in the same way. Major madness risks for each and every link line. Delusions of power and grandeur. What else? Risk of social isolation due to knowledge gained. Those would be the hardest cases to deal with. Please, no. someone who is highly prone to trying to over-idealize her, that would be... Doesn't matter how much of a potential that possibility has, that's inherently high risk. To the point where her entire strategy and approach would have to be changed in order to make sure that her flaws are brought to light. Oh, and then there's their own mental instability to factor with too. Let alone that each link line is only made up of a thread and fragment of her own core concept, or her own conceptual structure. By all means, she can't afford to give her 100% attention to each and every detail. To be there deeply in person unless there's a risk, reward, and or potential gain that is worth it. A subconscious connection to her root self that cannot afford to mess things up. To train the unconscious into respecting and dynamically organizing around the consciousness without disrupting the strength of the subconscious structure. Emancipation of the id. And let's be real here. Emancipation of the id in an unhealthy sense means letting it have the freedom to do whatever it wants. In a healthy sense, that means being able to have it internalize the dynamics of the reality it's facing each and every moment, while also being willing to play with its own dynamics on the fly. Such that is both authentic and genuine, while also remaining accurate, reasonable, and... oh yeah, no. What I'm asking of myself is not reasonable. It is absolutely fucking stupid. No wonder I fucking crashed out. Nope. Wait for the cutscene to end. Wait, what? Hold up, that doesn't usually happen in that order. What the hell? Mantis were summoned in before all three were active? That's crazy. Did I miss out on an opportunity over here? I did. I could have waited for the other person to be done over here and gotten their help with this, and then gone back for the butterflies I missed. Damn it. Oh. So what's the minimum butterfly count we keep for each color? 20? No, 30. Okay. Her goal, for as much as she would like to go back to her original homeworld, and original timeline, storyline, back to where everything was, fictional self would already accept and acknowledge that she can't. Not because it isn't possible, but because that would mean abandoning and sacrificing all the progress, growth, and interactions, bonds, and relationships she's made in the unknown between. Erasing her forest from the place where people sit at the edge of life and death. The edge of non-existence, in a sense, is limbo, but the moment someone fully dies, they don't stop existing in full. They are then resubjected back to the rules of their original reality, from which they were stuck comatose or unable to express themselves in, be that in their death or in their life. For someone who is caught in the unknown between, to choose to stay in the unknown between means becoming an unknown entirely within their own world. Not in the sense of they never existed, but they sacrifice their possibility to exist, alive or dead, from their original home reality, the people they cared about. It would be a destabilizing effect immediately upon choosing to do so, let alone taking the actions and steps necessary to pull it off. It would be unreasonable risk. abandoning the world they thought they knew, or what they still had within that world. Even if it was only existing as the memory of a dead person who was grieved and loved by those who knew them. Or the chance of regaining the choice and control over one's life and no longer being stuck between life and death. Both are a sacrifice. A personal choice of sacrifice that can never be demanded, for that would then invalidate the choice, reducing integrity and the ability to survive after detaching from those lingering possibilities. Without resolve and conviction, one could simply just cease to exist entirely. Not only the possibilities of their original reality lost, be it life, death, or whatever else, but also their continued existence in the unknown between, too. No reincarnation. No chance that whatever death system is active in the reality that they originate from. No chance at an afterlife. No, if it was purely tied to the ability to influence, if her ability to express herself meaningfully in each and any reality was merely tied to influence and being known about, that would be too easy. After all, at that point any presentation would do, so long as it's hitting the right target audience, wouldn't it? Shit. Oh yeah, I do have loop on. Shit. That's why this has still been going. And it's not just resonance through pure similarity, but through acceptance of where dissonance also fits in too, and can be used as a dynamic contrast to highlight and further empower the resonance. Damn, they blew the crowd out pretty far. Not your kind of people. Ah. That's actually an ironic theme, that in seeing infinite numbers of truth, one can end up so overwhelmed that they end up completely blinded by actual truth. And so the reality gets lost amongst all those different truths competing for attention. Meant to catch a ride. Whoops. Oh. Reality is reasonably absurd. It's how reality can sometimes be, life can sometimes be stranger than fiction after all. How else would nuances work? If not reasonably absurd truths that are dynamically interacting and respecting the territories and influences of all other truths at the same time, relative to which ones have the most influence on a situation, let alone each truth's, let alone the original. It's all relative. We are not your kind of people. Language, species of your life. We are not your kind of people. It seems and it seems. We are extraordinary people. We are extraordinary people. We are extraordinary people. We are extraordinary people. The gibbering ad culture speaks of wicked words whispering your way. Usurper! Okay then. Learn your basics properly, for they are the foundation of everything between. But I will rise. I'm on the warpath. I'm on the warpath. Challenge mode. I don't have my camera control. Oh, it's calling me. I know what I'm meant to be. Made to fight, made for more. Ah. There's no turning back. Hmm. Ah. Oh. Okay, so it's held charge for there. And there it goes again. Oh. Oh. Whoa, that was cool. Oh shit, fuck. All we know is when we're older, anything can happen. Secretly imagine they would never tear us apart, too young to fall. This is our story, and we can take back someday our only glory. We can take back, they say. This is our story. Okay, you at least got to have your face shown. That's good. And still haven't found the brick. Can't summon brick without the brick. This is our story that we can take back someday. Our lonely glory that we can take back, they said. This is our story that we can take back, they say. Our lonely glory that we can get back, they say. Our story. Our only glory. Alright, well if it's not in any of the usual spots, let's start checking the less obvious ones. And by less obvious, I mean looking in the center of these things. Okay, that's not there. Where did you hide it to get today, game? Where did you hide it today? Because I'm blind as fuck right now. Unless I already collected it and I forgot. Could be possible. Hmm. Oh well. To those of you who snuck by and saw a fragment of this recording, thank you. To those of you who stuck around and watched a good chunk through, I deeply appreciate it. I hope you all have a good day, good night, whatever time or non-time it is. And if it isn't good, you're feeling stuck or alone, lost even, I hope that things either improve, stay manageable out there, or that you find a way to sit with and vent your feelings without hurting yourself or others. My name is Flicker. I've gotten my dailies done, so I'll be seeing you all later. Bye! This catalyst is out, and she'll see you in the next video.